Welcome everyone to Thursday Night Lights weekly classes and group coaching right here on YouTube. So if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe so you'll get a notification every time I go live. So welcome. If you are joining me for the first time, I am Joshua the Psychic, and I do readings, I do coaching, I do classes, and I even do parties here in Los Angeles. So if you're interested in any of my services, visit my website, psychicsun.com. The link to that is in the description box below. Hey, Casmar, nice to see you. Thank you for joining me tonight. So we're going to talk all about this solar eclipse, and we'll go over what eclipses are just to keep you aware of what we're talking about. And if you're catching this in the replay, well, you'll be able to skip ahead. There'll be timestamps later on. So what are eclipses? Eclipses are cosmic events that serve as course corrections or catalysts for change. So really, it's an opportunity for us to close one door and enter another. And sometimes those doors are closed for us, right? Because it's not really our path. It's a perfect universe. So these eclipses come and they course correct. They help us get to where we need to go. And sometimes if we're resistant or we don't understand why certain things are happening, they can be difficult. But not everybody is going to be really affected by the eclipse. There are some eclipses you might just breeze by. And because you have 6 months for the eclipse to take effect on either side, either 6 months before or 6 months after, you may have already gone through any changes the eclipse will bring. Eclipses occur in pairs, and they signify a period of intense energy. So we had our full moon lunar eclipse in Libra on March 25th. If you haven't checked out your Tarotscope for that lunation, well, the link to that is in the description below. So we had our lunar eclipse on the 25th of March. We have our solar eclipse on April 8th. And in the fall, we'll have eclipses in September and October, solar and lunar. They represent pivotal moments for personal and collective growth. So the world is going through these changes, not just you, if you happen to be going through something. And they often bring hidden truths to light, prompting us to realign with our life paths. So keep that in mind. Hey, Sin, nice to see you. Happy Thursday. Additionally, solar eclipse versus a lunar eclipse. Now, a lot of you might know this, but a solar eclipse occurs when the moon passes between the sun and the earth. It blocks the sun's light and creates a shadow on earth. Whereas a lunar eclipse occurs when the earth passes between the sun and the moon, casting a shadow on the moon. A solar eclipse can only happen during a new moon, while a lunar eclipse can only happen during a full moon. Some might say a lunar eclipse is a full moon on steroids, and a solar eclipse is like a new moon on steroids. But because the eclipses are so unpredictable, we're advised not to light candles or do any hocus pocus. You want to keep things business as usual. And that is doubly so due to Mercury being retrograde during this time. Hi, Myriad Hughes. Nice to see you. I love your name, Myriad Hughes. I love that. Let's see. What else is there? So the significance of Aries. So Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. They like to be number one. The first. They say that Aries fear mediocrity more than death. Like if they're going to be a bastard, they're going to be the worst bastard the world has ever seen, or the sweetest, the kindest, sweetest person the world has ever seen, and they do succeed. They symbolize beginnings, initiation, and courage. So this is a time for all of us to forge ahead with new beginnings. And because Mercury is retrograde, which we'll talk about, you might want to plan out those beginnings. You might want to outline, plan, do some research during this time, and then fire your shot when Mercury goes direct and out of its shadow period, which would be in May. Governed by Mars, Aries is the planet of action, drive, initiative, assertiveness. So this is a time in which we're all needing to be more authentic and really assert ourselves. If something doesn't make you feel comfortable or something is not authentic to you, this is a time to really speak up about it, especially if it's something that has been bothering you for some time. It embodies qualities of leadership, independence, and a pioneering spirit. With the North Node in Aries, we're all really being encouraged to go our own way. Of course, that North Node in Aries is being fueled by the South Node in Libra. So we need to use Libra gifts of diplomacy, tact, consideration to fuel us toward our authentic self, represented by Aries. Aries is the pioneer of the zodiac. It rules entrepreneurship. There are many great entrepreneurs. And the way things are going right now, well, we're learning that we need to be more independent due to the advent of AI and crypto and lots of things, really. So it's an opportunity for you to really forge ahead and create a path that is specific only to you. Because you will only be you in this one lifetime. There is no one else but you or like you in this lifetime. So it's an opportunity for us to get really in touch with our core, our authentic self. Additionally, we have quite a few aspects this new moon. Quite a few aspects. The new moon in Aries will conjunct Chiron in Aries. So Chiron is the wounded healer. Wherever you have Chiron in your chart, that's where you have past life woundedness. So by sign and by house. So wherever you have Chiron, that's your deepest wound. But also, where you have Chiron is where you're most capable of healing other people. And Chiron, they say, is the crack where the light can enter. So your healing abilities, your ability to be of service to others, is represented by your greatest pain. So it's sort of like the cross you bear in order to help people in the world outside of you. So the new moon in Aries conjunct exact Chiron in Aries at 19 degrees. This is a time of deep healing and transformation. That might be why a lot of people are experiencing really tough times during these eclipses, especially this solar eclipse, because we can't really hide from our pain anymore. It's kind of obvious, and it might be debilitating if we don't do something to heal it. Or your best bet with Chiron is to look at how you have become more you, or how you are you due to your woundedness, and how you can turn that around and use it as a source of healing and inspiration for other people. It's a time of embracing vulnerability for growth and self-discovery. So Chiron is your deepest wound. It is all about vulnerability and at least being vulnerable with yourself and nurturing yourself and knowing that your woundedness matters and that it can be healed, but it needs love and care and attention. So I would advise you all to look to see where Chiron is in your chart. If you don't have your time of birth, you'll still be able to gauge what sign it's in, and that'll give you a hint as to the woundedness that you came into this lifetime with. So wherever you have Chiron, that's where we have to overcompensate, because there's a woundedness there. But we overcompensate, and our woundedness actually can become a real strong gift. You can actually turn it around, and through that overcompensation, it can become your secret weapon. So the new moon conjuncting Chiron also is a catalyst for addressing past wounds and finding inner strength. So this is a time, especially under our lunar eclipse that we had on the 25th of March, there may have been some stuff that came up and you're realizing this is an old wound that I have that's reappearing. Oftentimes we have these paradigms. I always get looked over for the job that I want, or the guy that I like always winds up cheating on me. These are patterns. If you find that you're dealing with the same scenarios over and over again, it is most likely a paradigm, a pattern that you have in your life, perhaps from a past life. So these eclipses are going to allow you to shed light on them and heal them so you can grow and create a new story. It's springtime. It's an opportunity for us to create brand new stories. We also have the North Node in Aries. So the North Node is our collective destiny. We're all being forced to be more Aries, right? But again, utilizing those Libran gifts of tact, diplomacy, consideration for other people, so we can forge our authentic path. So that North Node in Aries, our collective destiny, is making a harmonious sextile to Pluto, which recently moved into Aquarius. And after November, fall, actually, I think it is November, but after November of 2024, Pluto is going to be in Aquarius for the next 20 years. So collectively, we're all going through major transformation. And with the North Node in Aries sextiling Pluto in Aquarius, it's an opportunity for us to align personal growth with our collective evolution. As they say, when we have complaints about the world, be the change that you want to see in the world, because the more each of us as individuals make changes, we're going to be changing the collective, because you want to live in the world that is best for you. So that means showing up in the world as representing what you want to see more of. I wish more people could be like this. Well, be more like that yourself and lead. Again, North Node in Aries, be a leader. Go there first, show them how it's done. This is also an opportunity for empowerment to create positive change in society. So we're going to be empowered, Pluto, to create positive change, especially by being leaders a la Aries. And it's an opportunity for us to harness our individual talents for the greater good. Nobody can do what you can do the way you do it. You have a specific, unique value that you bring to the world. And this eclipse is going to help you to get really, really in touch with it. Get in touch with your specific, unique magic, your specific blueprint. And it's a beautiful opportunity for you to get to understand yourself and your talents and your gifts. We also have Saturn in Pisces conjuncting Mars in Pisces. So Saturn says, no, stop. And Mars, of course, says, go, faster, now, right? So in these two conjunct, it could be a matter of things happen in fits and starts. We're starting something, we're moving forward, we get blocked. It also could be a matter of us needing to apply discipline and focus to Piscean things, like emotional or artistic expression or spiritual pursuits. So this, with Saturn and Pisces, we're all being forced really to be more spiritual, to be more cognizant of the collective and more responsible with the energy that we bring into the world. So with this aspect, it's really good for creative projects. So if you have a manuscript you're working on, or you even want to start a business that is spiritual in nature, this is an opportunity for you to combine that passion that you have with also that structure, because you need that structure in order to get things done. Saturn wants definition, right? And Mars wants you to confront your fears. So putting those together, it's an opportunity for you to apply discipline and focus to your goals. It's also a great time for you to confront fears and limitations, Saturn, and confront Mars to cultivate inner strength. So there might be some fears that you have. This is an opportunity for you to smooth those over and get stronger every day. And it's also about balancing assertiveness with compassion and empathy. So we want to be assertive with Mars, but we also want to really embrace that Piscean sense of agape, unconditional love for everyone, and treating everybody not with kid gloves necessarily, but with a sense of consideration that you're dealing with other human beings who have hearts. And it's important to be kind, especially if you want kindness bestowed onto you, right? Because you'll find that that's a reflection. what we give to other people, of course, is reflected back to ourselves. And on another level, the way we treat other people is reflective of how we think we should be treated, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all one. And that's really what Saturn and Pisces is teaching us, the law of one. Now, this is really cool. So Jupiter, planet of expansion, growth, opportunity, wealth, prosperity, in Taurus, will conjunct the planet Uranus, which is about change, unpredictability. So this aspect will actually be exact on the 20th of April, but it's only within 2 degrees of each other now, Jupiter and Uranus. So this is going to be a breakthrough for us over the next 6 months in material pursuits and financial stability. So there might be new ways in which you are able to make money. There may be new ways in which you can get more stabilized financially. Also, the financial landscape is changing. So it's time to embrace innovation and unconventional approaches to prosperity. So hopefully, if you have a wealth manager, they're quick on the uptake and they're aware of what's going on with Bitcoin and crypto and all of this stuff that is going on. It's important, if you are concerned about long-term wealth and prosperity, to find out what is up. And you don't have to do this today or tomorrow, but over the next 6 months, it's a good idea to school yourself on the financial landscape and how that may be changing and how you can utilize it to your greatest advantage. It's also, Taurus is not just only about money, it also is about your values. So with Jupiter, your values may be expanding, your beliefs may be expanding, and this is going to bring you more abundance. So for instance, if you have a paradigm in place that says, well, I've only made 150K a year, I can't make more than that. Well, sure, you may never have made more than that, but that doesn't mean that you can't, right? So this is an opportunity for you to get in touch with your beliefs about finances, about abundance, and doing whatever it is that you can to change those around to suit you better. So it's going to be quite the transit. I think you're going to like it an awful lot. And of course, we have Mercury retrograde. Now, I think this is actually a really good thing that Mercury is retrograde, especially during eclipse season, because Mercury retrograde, Mercury is the planet of communication, and it usually is very, very fast, right? And when it's retrograde, from our standpoint on Earth, it looks like it's going backwards, but really it's slowing down, and it gives us an opportunity to catch our breaths, right? And during eclipse season, really, when we're not supposed to make any sudden moves anyway, it's going to give us a pause, and it's going to give us an opportunity to really look at what we're doing. An object in motion likes to stay in motion, and sometimes we might be doing things out of habit, not instinct. So Mercury retrograde slows us down, and it has us reflect, rest. Anything with the re prefix is ideal under this retrograde. Mercury will be retrograde until April 25th, at which point it will enter its post-shadow period until mid-May. So you want to reflect and rest during that period as much as possible. It's a period of reflection and introspection, and so are these eclipses, right? The eclipses are shining a light on things, and they're making things very, very visible. That which we had swept under the rug before is no longer avoidable. For some of us, again, there are some people that just breeze by these eclipses. We had a solar eclipse in Aries last year. Some people were really affected. Those people today are not being affected by these eclipses. So it might have to do with where 19 degrees of Aries is in your chart, which we're going to talk about in a moment. Anyway, back to Mercury retrograde. It's a great time for you to review your plans and communication strategies. Maybe there's something you're missing, because that's what Mercury retrograde does. It slows us down and it catches things that we may have missed. Mercury retrograde is wonderful for research. You'll find things that you had never found before. And it's also a really great time to reunite with someone. It's a great time for reunions because you get to pick right back up where you had left off. It's an opportunity to revisit past issues and resolve misunderstandings. So this could be a very you could reconcile during this time with other people, especially if there are relationships that are important to you that you want to salvage. A lot of times exes come back during retrograde. Again, it's important to remember you can't, paint everybody with the same brush. There might be some relationship that comes back and it's bad news bears, and there might be another that actually is worth giving it another go. Oh, you just connected with a high school friend? That's very retrograde-y. That's cool. Well, I hope it's a very rewarding friendship for you. So now we're going to get into our horoscopes and tarotscopes, readings for all the signs. You might want to listen to your actual sun sign, as well as your rising sign, if you know that, or even your moon sign. But if you want to get really, really specific, find out where 19 degrees of Aries falls in your astrological chart. You can do that by looking up online, free astrology chart, and find out what house. Oh, and you're seeing old friends on Sunday, Casmar? That's awesome. What a perfect time for it. That's going to be great. So let's start, of course, with the star of the show, Aries. Now, Aries, for the lunar eclipse that we had on the 25th, you may have been dealing with some relationship issues. There may have been somebody who you gave their walking papers. Like, I can't deal with this anymore. Maybe something that you ended, or maybe you even just decided to end an old relationship paradigm. Like you're no longer going to be less of a priority to whomever you're in a relationship with. But now that we have our solar eclipse in your sign, it's about you. And it's about how you're showing up in the world, your identity. And that is ever changing, right? Because we're like onions, all of us, right? There's these layers. And this is an opportunity with the eclipse in your sign to get more of an understanding of who you really are and discovering who you are and exploring who you are, the different facets. Nobody is a block of cement. It also is about your personality. If you're not happy with your personal reality, will change your personality, because your personality determines your personal reality. And it's also about your image, your self-image. Are you seeing yourself in the brightest light possible? Are you dwelling on your shortcomings or your character defects, or are you focusing on what you love about yourself? Because it's all about a reflection, right? The more you can love yourself, the more that's reflected out into the universe, and then other people will love you, which is wonderful, right? So over the next 6 months, Aries, is going to be very good for you. You're going to experience a boost in confidence and energy. Again, you might be going through something because this eclipse is in your sign, but once that passes, you're good to go. You might be more open to taking risks and going on adventures. It's a time for you to really explore yourself, and that's through new experiences. And there might be some real exciting opportunities that come your way. The big thing for you, Aries, is to understand more about your specific self and how lovable you are and what you love about yourself. What are your greatest talents and gifts, and what do you want to experience? So let's see what wisdom from the tarot you get, Aries, for your solar eclipse in your sign. Wisdom for Aries, wisdom for Aries, wisdom for Aries. Temperance. So this is nice. So temperance is a balance of temperament, tolerance, and patience. So it's about finding the right combination of things to make you well or happy. And really, with the temperance card, it's all about healing. Maybe there's something that you've been doing too much of, and now you're like, okay, I need to balance things out. Maybe you've been focused solely on your career at the expense of family and relationships. And now you're thinking, in order for me to feel better, or in order for me to feel as perfect as possible, I need to come up with a new combination. So this is a healing card for you. Find the right combination of things to make you well or happy, Aries, and you'll be all set. And happy new moon. So Taurus, this new moon, solar eclipse in Aries, is hitting your 12th house. So you may want to spend extra time in the bedroom, sleeping. You can spend more time in the bedroom doing other things too, of course, but be sure to get your sleep. This is a time in which you're going to make the most gains, Taurus, by hiding under the covers, keeping a low profile, doing things behind the scenes. A 12th house transit, what this is doing, it's getting you prepared for your birthday so you can jump out of a cake. And think of it this way. Say you're the cake, right? The 12th house transit that we're going through now for you, you're putting the ingredients in the cake. You're feeding your subconscious. You're letting the cake bake, right? So don't give yourself a luxury of a negative thought during this period. This is a really good time in which you should be listening to affirmations, doing meditations, visualizing how you want things to go. Because what we get in life is what we subconsciously believe that we are a match to. And sometimes, again, we might be conscious, I want this because I deserve this. But subconsciously, we might not think that we actually are worth it. And as a Taurus, a lot of your lessons do have to do with self-worth. So be sure to train your subconscious with the wealth of information that we have out there so you can, come your birthday, show up as your true, authentic, most valuable self. The 12th house also has to do with secrets. Secret squirrel. You may be becoming aware of secrets. Maybe a secret that you kept from yourself, maybe secrets that others have kept from you. And also because of the 12th house transit, you might be closing a major cycle in your life. And Taurus, you have been going through it. Uranus, planet of change, has been in your sign for quite a few years now. Jupiter's been in your sign for over a year, just about a year at least. So you have gone through a lot of changes and you're also expanding. So it's like you're changing, you're expanding, depending on what degree of Taurus you are. So you've been going through it. So I don't think that extra time sleeping is a bad move for you because this has probably been one hell of a year. It may have been the worst of times and the best of times in a lot of ways. And there might be some things that are just over, just done. And Taurus is very possessive. They might be emotionally detached because Venus, ruler of Taurus, has no moons, but they're very possessive. So you want to make sure you're letting go of things that are no longer working for you. Maybe your stubbornness at times does not serve you. It does not serve your higher values. And in fact, your values may have changed. So keep that in mind. This is an important transit for you. So it's about emotional release. You might be releasing things. You might be closing things up. Finally saying, absolutely not. I'm not returning to this job. I'm not returning to this relationship, whatever it might be. You're going to get closure. It's also an opportunity for you to move on from past hurts, to really lick your wounds and say, okay, well, this happened, but this is not going to be what I'm defined by. I'm not going to be defined by this loss. And you're going to get to move on. Also, it's a wonderful time over the next 6 months for you to increase your sense of peace, your inner peace, and focusing really in the now. Like making peace of mind your only goal, Taurus, is really key for you. Because you want to make sure that you're feeling really stable and secure. And that all starts with the inner world. So quiet down your mind and give yourself a break this transit. And let's see, Taurus, what wisdom you get from the tarot for this transit. Wisdom for Taurus, wisdom for Taurus, wisdom for Taurus. 10 of Swords. So, again, this is actually a good thing for you because you are going through a 12th house transit. 10 of Swords means that there's only up. The only way is up, meaning that the worst has happened and now you get to clean up the wreckage and move forward. But the worst is behind you, according to this card. So if you've been going through a lot of hell, the good news is that you've seen the worst of it. There's nowhere to go but up during this period for you. I also would say with the Ten of Swords, if something is like weighing on your mind and you're obsessing on it and it's taking up a lot of space in your brain, for crying out loud, do something about it. Get it out of your head. Maybe you need to talk to somebody. Maybe you need to actually apologize. Maybe you need to determine what you did right and what the other person did wrong. Maybe you need to have a conversation, or maybe you just need to let it go. That's the big thing. Somehow you got to let something go. And the good news is that the worst is behind you. So the only place is up for you. I would say that during this period, let things evolve, but be sure to emotionally release anything that doesn't feel good. You're supposed to feel as perfect as possible, especially Taurus. And if your body doesn't feel good, well, that's a telltale sign that you need to release something. So I'd say with Ten of Swords, the worst is behind you and greater days are to come. So happy new moon, Taurus. Gemini. So Gemini, this is a nice little transit for you. An 11th house transit. This 11th house is about your friends, your groups, your community, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, and goals. So the 11th house essentially is, why not? Why can't I do that? The theory being that if you have a desire, that comes with it the built-in prerequisite ability for you to achieve it. That there are no dangling carrots in the universe. So keep that in mind. Also, you might be ready to connect with a group of like-minded people. This might be a great time for you to say, you know what? I'm going to get out of my shell. I'm going to connect with people who get me. I'm going to connect with a group of people who can give me that care and support and sense of community that you now desire. So it's a wonderful time for you. You also might really want to work your networks. If you want something, Gemini, I would say that your friends or your networks, especially social media, that could be very advantageous to you. But I think the main thing is find out what really lights you up, what you would do if you knew that you could not fail, and go after it and leverage your groups of like-minded people, your friends and your community to help you get it. And that's what friends do. They help you achieve your goals. Unlike romantic relationships, friends have a certain level of detachment between them, so they can help you grow and succeed without feeling like, well, why did he do this when he was supposed to be cleaning the garage, or he never does this with me, and spending, you get my drift. So let's see, Gemini, what wisdom you get from the tarot for your 11th house transit. Wisdom for Gemini, wisdom for Gemini, wisdom for Gemini, wisdom for Gemini. 9 of Cups. Well, I love this. This is great. It's always nice to see 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups is the wish card. So it's about you get your wish. And because it's a 9, the 9 in the tarot harkens back to the Hermit. So it is a card of independence and autonomy and solitude in some respects. So the 9 of Cups is about pure, indulgent self-satisfaction. So it's about you feeling like the cat who ate the canary. You're going to be really chuffed, just really pleased with yourself, and all is going to be well. I think the big thing with the 9 of Cups, it's like, don't get too smug. And I think the other warning with 9 of Cups is be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. I would say that over the next 6 months for you, happiness is really yours, and it's all going to be about, you finding out what it is that is going to make you really, really happy, tapping into that vibration and following your excitement, but go after your wishes. The 9 of Cups that you picked, or I picked for you today, in light of your 11th house, this is definitely a green light. So utilize this time to get your ducks in a row, and then come May, when Mercury is out of its shadow period, move forward. Or if you have stuff that's already been in effect, keep going. Business as usual. Business as usual. Happy new moon. Solar eclipse, Gemini. So Cancer. This is a very cool transit for you. It's a little bit more intense than some of the others, right? It's at angle, an angular transit on your 10th house. So your 10th house has to do with career, status, how the world sees you, your position, your honors, your professional life. And it's also about, of course, your contribution to society. What do you bring to the table? What have you achieved in this lifetime, or what will you achieve? So it's a wonderful time for career success and recognition. There might be a new beginning for you professionally. You also might have a greater sense of direction and purpose. This is what I'm supposed to do. That eureka moment of like, oh yeah, I could do this. Nobody could do this better than me. And if it's what excites you the most, well, that's definitely your sign, because your excitement is your built-in mechanism that says, go here, do this. And also you might just be progressing toward your professional goals. This eclipse could give you a bump. Maybe you've been jockeying for a position and you've been wanting it for some time. And now over the next 6 months, things are going to get out of the way. You're going to get out of your own way. And you'll win. You'll get the position you want. So it's a wonderful time, Cancer. So let's see what wisdom you get from the tarot for your new moon and Aries solar eclipse. Wisdom for Cancer. Wisdom for Cancer. Wisdom for Cancer. Wisdom for Cancer. 2 of Cups. I love it. So 2 of Cups is the love card. So when two people come together, two people come together, their cups come together, I share my truth with you. And that's what love is. You're sharing your truth. So I would say with 2 of Cups, Cancer, definitely look at 2 of Cups, not just on a romantic level, but you can have people that you love working with. That's a 2 of Cups thing. So look at 2 of Cups in terms of love. Granted, 2 of Cups usually is about romance, that kind of love. But you could find the perfect business partner. You could be finding a boss that thinks you walk on water. You could be finding just somebody that you work with, that you love working with, and or professionally growing with. I would say with 2 of Cups, definitely look at partnerships to help you with your goals, because that's a really good card. 2 of Cups does say good news is coming. So I'd say in light of your 10th house transit, there's somebody that likes you. It might be a VIP. So I would definitely connect with other people and look for love. Look for those loving relationships. Even if they're professional, they can be platonic, but you want to definitely enjoy other people and communicate your truth with them, of course, diplomatically. So happy new moon, Cancer. I'm psyched to see that. And Leo. Wow, Leo. This is a cool little transit, Leo. You're going to like this. You're going to like this a lot. A 9th house transit. So the 9th house, it might give you some itchy feet. You might be like, oh, I need to get out. I need to do something. I need to learn something more. You might be a little bit bored. So the 9th house transit comes along and you're like, okay, I need to expand. I need to grow. Now that might be through actually visiting new lands. Oh, you've been feeling restless since a Leo. That makes perfect sense. Perfect sense during a 9th house solar eclipse transit, or right around that time. So essentially, you're going to be feeling itchy feet, and you're going to want to expand and grow. You can do this by experiencing other people, places, and things, i.e. travel, or you can embark on a new course of study, something that broadens your horizon, something that expands your mind. You might do a deep dive into law, metaphysics, cooking, anything that broadens your horizons. And this is an opportunity for you to really get out there and see more of the world, or to understand more of the world, because you'll find yourself in the new facets that you seek. So they even say that when you travel, that you actually meet up with your spirit in that other place, right? So I would definitely explore. Maybe it is about taking a long distance trip. The 9th house, as opposed to the 3rd house, has to do with longer trips, i.e. like 3,000 miles away, not LA to San Diego. That would be a short distance travel, a third house thing. But for the ninth house, it's long distances, foreign places. Also, there may be foreign people that really appeal to you during this time. You might get a fresh perspective from a foreigner without having to leave your house. That might be nice. There's also really cool adventures and opportunities that are afoot. The ninth house does rule entrepreneurship. So this could be about you expanding and growing. Maybe you're going to publish, right? And you're going to experience more of the world by sharing yourself with more of the world. Or maybe you're going to broadcast, right? And really, it's all about expanding your knowledge. In the old days, education and travel were synonymous. So if you're learning or you're traveling, you're definitely going to get a better understanding of what this world is about and what you are about, because the different things that you see in the world are going to inform your self-construct. So let's see, Leo, what wisdom you get from the tarot for your new moon solar eclipse in Aries. Wisdom for Leo, wisdom for Leo, wisdom for Leo, wisdom for Leo. Two of Swords. Okay, so the Two of Swords, essentially, you're going through eclipse season, right? So with the Two of Swords, you're at an impasse. It's sort of like something is bothering you, but you really can't do anything about it. And you're also at this point in which you have to make decisions without the interference of the emotions. So it's a matter of, with Two of Swords, you're at this point in which it's like something's got to give. This could be if you're dealing with somebody or something that you don't like, finally you have your day, right? Sometimes Two of Swords is about the blow up that you had hoped to avoid. So if something has been weighing on your mind or somebody's been pissing you off, Two of Swords says that there may be a come to Jesus moment very soon in your future. Or worst case scenario, this could be a breakup with Two of Swords. But the standoff really is with yourself, right? And you need to harmonize the different feelings that you have. And you need to, in some respects, with Two of Swords, put your emotions on hold for the time being and be logical, right? How can you achieve a sense of peace right now, irrespective of how you're feeling? So with Two of Swords, you might be going through stuff emotionally. That's normal. It's eclipse season, right? But with Two of Swords, you still have to be logical. You still have to make decisions that are smart. So I would keep that in mind. Definitely allow yourself to communicate if something's been really bothering you, but also be sure to make your decisions rationally without the interference of the emotions. It's almost like having something going wrong in your day, something very small, and you're like, well, screw it. The whole day is ruined. Well, no, the whole day is not ruined. It was just this facet of the day, right? So even though it might have really upset you and it's pissed you off, that doesn't mean that everything else can go to hell, right? You want to make decisions without the interference of the emotions, and you will thank me later if you do this, right? Because none of us want to make decisions based on our emotions during eclipse seasons, especially if we're getting a hit by this eclipse. So I hope that makes sense. And Virgo. So Virgo, this is a interesting transit for you. This might be a little bit intense. I mean, it's a good thing, right? But the 8th house, it is very much about letting go. There's a metaphysical death afoot, right? So you want to let the parts of you that are no longer relevant or no longer feel good, etc. You want to let that die, right? So you're becoming more you, right? You may have been taught when you were very young that you're the type of person that's like this, or through experiences, you may have gained a perspective of your self-image that is not really true. So you're letting go of things that don't work. You're letting go of old identities that no longer serve you. The 8th house is also about intimacy. And it can definitely be about sex. It's about boundaries. Where do you begin and where does somebody end, right? And vice versa. So this is a time in which you're feeling like pretty raw. You might be feeling very vulnerable during this time. So it's going to be important for you to nurture yourself, protect yourself, especially if you're super sensitive, which you may very well be. It also is a time of boundaries in which if something is making you feel bad, we'll erect a boundary. If something is making you feel good, well, maybe drop your boundaries and let the person in more, right? It also has to do with other people's resources, what you get by virtue of being in a relationship with other people. This could be their money. This could also be their bullshit, right? Their wet towels on the floor, their mother, your mother-in-law, right? So it's what you get from other people. And, you know, by nature of the 8th house, there's going to be good and bad. So you got to make decisions as to what is yours and what is somebody else's and where do you share? The good news with this is that although it might be a little bit intense, you're going to have an opportunity because you're going to be feeling more vulnerable to deepen your emotional connections. And you might really heal when you do that, right? So you want to feel safe enough to share. Greater intimacy in relationships. You might be honest in terms of your relationships. You might decide that you want to combine resources with somebody else and even go into business with somebody else or do something together. And there's more trust and closeness, if only with yourself. You might get an opportunity this new moon solar eclipse to really be there for yourself and to understand how you feel about certain things. And when you have that greater intimacy with yourself, you'll then be able to share it with other people, right? So you could get closer to a partner during this period. You could find yourself opening up more. And when you start opening up to people and being vulnerable, it's sort of like a drug. And you're sort of like, well, I did that and I survived. I could do this, right? So be there for yourself so then you can be open to other people. And let's see, Virgo, what wisdom you get from the tarot for your new moon solar eclipse. Wisdom for Virgo, wisdom for Virgo, wisdom for Virgo, wisdom for Virgo. 7 of Swords. Okay, so 7 of Swords, diplomacy, make that your watchword, right? It's going to be important for you to be diplomatic during this eclipse, especially with Mercury retrograde and your Mercury ruled. 7 of Swords is also about the quality of appeasement. So you may want to, as they say, it's better to ask forgiveness than permission. Might be practical. I think the big thing with you with 7 of Swords, you have plans, Virgo, and you have to be stealthy during this time. You got to like look at the big picture, make your plans. Don't feel like you have to do anything straight away. You're dealing with a volatile person or people. You're going to have to be diplomatic. But I think the big thing with 7 of Swords is to really plan things out in a way that they're going to work well for you in the future, particularly after this retrograde. So utilize this time to plan, be diplomatic. Might be better to appease somebody for the time being, you know, just for the time being. And then when you're ready, you can be more direct. So happy new moon, Virgo. And Libra. Well, Libra, this should be really nice for you. You get a 7th house transit, the house that your sign rules. So the 7th house is the other in your life, right? It's your partners. It's the house of marriage, the 7th house. So this could be a new beginning for you romantically in terms of a long-term partnership, long-term relationship, a spouse. If you are in the public, the 7th house may pertain to your audience at large. Again, they have the other in your life. And it also may have to do with contracts. So this is a new beginning. Maybe you want a new contract. That could be great. The 7th house pertains to all long-term one-on-one partnerships, i.e. your spouse, your long-term boyfriend, your business manager, consultants that you may have, etc. So if you're looking for that perfect secretary or you're looking for that perfect husband, etc., this is a great time for you to find it. So Expect positive changes in your partnerships. If you're already in a relationship, this is a great opportunity for you to go deeper, to understand where your partner is coming from, let him or her understand where you're coming from. If you're looking for new people in your life, this is it. Again, you did have the lunar eclipse in your sign on the 25th of March, which meant that you have gone through changes. It's likely that if you've gone through changes and other people haven't gone through changes, you might not be syncing up as well as you used to. That is okay, because you're going to be able to, with this energy, really find somebody or people that better suit you. So not just romantic connections, but also friendships during this period. And if all is well in your relationships and your friendships, your long-term relationships, then you can deepen those. So it's a good time for you, Libra. I think it's more a matter of getting a better understanding of how do you want to be balanced, because partnership is balanced to Libra. So keep that in mind. And let's see what wisdom you get from the tarot for your new moon solar eclipse in Aries. Wisdom for Libra, wisdom for Libra, wisdom for Libra, Libra, Libra. The Hierophant. So the Hierophant is, it's about doing the right thing, right? And really looking at your values and how you can find other people that align with those values. This could be through work, this could be clubs, groups, education, any systems where people collectively come together with shared values. So I would say with the Hierophant, in light of your 7th house transit, maybe it's a matter of finding people to connect with that share your values. So say you're looking to find love. It might be smart for you to meet somebody at the gym as opposed to the bar, because you value staying healthy and keeping fit more than you do getting drunk, right? So it might be a matter of that. I also would say with the Hierophant, really the key here is to do the right thing. This might be a time in which you have to follow a straight and narrow course, and that's okay. I also would say with the Hierophant, it's important for you to allow yourself to be a leader and to really show other people what it looks like to be representing your values. How can you be an example of the values that you care about a lot? The Hierophant can be a little bit stubborn. So I would say, in some ways, you might want to be a little bit more flexible with the way things are going. I think that's a good rule of thumb during eclipse season. But the big thing with the Hierophant is the principle of teaching and learning. What are you learning with your friends, your long-term partnerships? What are you teaching, etc.? So happy new moon, Libra. I hope this is a good transit for you. And Scorpio, you might be working out or getting your exercise or meditating. The 6th house is all about you making sure that your habits are aligned with your bigger goals. So what do you do day in and day out is a 6th house thing. This is everything from how much sleep you get to what you have for breakfast to how much you exercise, any habits that you have. And it's an opportunity for you to get in much better health. So even visualizing yourself doing some stuff can actually be helpful. Athletes do this all the time, right? They visualize themselves doing amazingly in a basketball game, for instance. You could visualize yourself doing that before you actually do it, be it visualizing yourself walking, visualizing yourself exercising or meditating or whatever. This also is a new beginning for you in terms of work. So there might be something new on the horizon professionally. You might be getting a nice little bit of a break. Maybe you'll get an assistant. But how can your lifestyle feel better? How can you feel more perfect on a regular basis? It might not be actually just going to doctor's appointments, exercising, and eating right. Honestly, it might be having fun. Maybe you need a break in your week to let your hair down or to kick your feet up. Maybe you need actually a day off in the week, right? Or maybe you need to work from home an extra day. But your lifestyle can improve during this period. And really, what we do day in and day out, that makes up our lives, right? And it's also about service. How can you be of service? We actually find freedom when we are actually of service. And Scorpios, especially if Scorpios have some Virgo in their chart, oh boy, are they amazing at service. Scorpios can be too, but if you have Virgo in your chart too, that's going to be a big theme in your life. So you might, over the next 6 months, prioritize health and wellness, finding the right combination of things to make you well or happy. Positive lifestyle changes are afoot, and you can improve your physical and mental well-being. It might be a matter, again, of just meditating. They've done studies in which people who meditate, they feel better. So small changes, just think of it that way, right? What little things can you do on a day-to-day basis? Because Scorpios are extremists, right? Either all or nothing. And instead, you might want to look at what's one little change I can make that's not going to turn my life upside down, that actually might make a big difference. It might be doing a gratitude list. It might be reflecting. It might be taking a hot bath at night, whatever it might be. But this is an opportunity for you to feel really amazing without having to do too much. So let's see, Scorpio, what wisdom you get from the tarot for your new moon, solar eclipse in Aries. Wisdom for Scorpio, wisdom for Scorpio, wisdom for Scorpio. Page of Pentacles. I love it. So Page of Pentacles, it's like, think of a youngster that is understanding the concept of earth and stability. This could be like a high school student getting her first job. Like, oh my goodness, I got this paycheck. I get to go to the mall, right? It's very much like these new beginnings and opportunities for you on a practical level. This could be starting a new job. This could be learning a new skill that helps you to make more money. This could be learning some exercise or something that you can do on a regular basis that makes you feel better physically, but also brings you more money. So don't be afraid to be young. Don't be afraid to be a youngster and start from scratch. That could be so cool, right? Like, instead of acting like however old you are, to act like, a kid that's on the brink of something really new and fresh and different, because the Page of Pentacles is a very fertile card. So allow yourself to start fresh and think young and explore new opportunities, because Page of Pentacles is a great card, especially in light of your 6th house transit. So happy new moon, Scorpio. Hey, Kelsey, I'm glad you made it. Happy Thursday. So Sagittarius, this is a fun transit for you. A nice 5th house transit. Can't beat that. So the 5th house is about things that you really love. Those things that just light you up. Those things that are fun, playful, and make you happy. So it's wonderful. It's a new beginning for you in terms of fun. How can you play? How can you have fun? It also, the 5th house is about your creativity, your creations. If you have children, this could be them. This could be a brand new beginning for you and them. Maybe they're getting a little older and you could do new things with them. Or it could be about your creations, as in your creative projects, those things that you create. Maybe you're writing a book. Maybe you're doing a painting. Maybe you're exploring your artistic gifts and being like, you know what? I was a pretty good painter. I think I'm going to try that again. A wonderful idea, Sagittarius. Definitely explore whatever lights you up, and you'll gain a lot from it. Also, romance. This could be a really great time for you to have a good time. The 5th house in terms of love, it's not necessarily committed, put a ring on it, long-term partnership. It could be at times, it could lead to that, but really the 5th house transit is more about things that you just enjoy, that are more fun, no strings attached. They do rule affairs, lovers, as opposed to partners, long-term partners. So this spark of creativity and self-expression you'll experience over the next 6 months. You might be exploring your passions, as we say, follow your excitement, and also your talents, your skills. What's also cool about a 5th house transit, Sag, is you may finally get recognized for your work and your skills because you have a little flair that you put into things, and that is what makes the big difference. Sagittarians are so smart, and I think that for the rest of us, it's like, it's a big deal, and it's very, very charming, and it's beautiful, and it's godlike, right? So allow yourself to express yourself and to have fun, and allow yourself, I think the big thing with the 5th house, allow yourself to be celebrated. And that starts with you celebrating you. Because if you can celebrate yourself, that's going to be reflected back, and other people are going to celebrate you. So let's see, Sagittarius, what wisdom you get from the tarot for your new moon in Aries. Wisdom for Sagittarius, wisdom for Sagittarius, wisdom for Sagittarius, wisdom for Sagittarius. 6 of Cups. I like it. So the 6 of Cups, well, the key to the 6 of Cups is the past, right? It could be about memories of good times, could be about nostalgia, and really, I think in light of your 5th house transit, maybe there's some goal or something that you love to do in the past, that maybe something you wanted to do that, you know, life got in the way, and now it's a matter of you want to move forward with it. The 6 of Cups is also about simple, innocent pleasures, like a good turn for another, without any like, well, I did this for you, you got to do this for me. It's about simple, innocent pleasures. I also would say with the 6 of Cups, it is a romance card, actually, but the key with the 6 of Cups is that it's like sharing the tokens of love without there being a sense of like committing to anything, right? Don't commit to anything until you're sure romantically. But the 6 of Cups is, according to Crowley, one of the best cards in the deck. It's about balance, light meets dark. And really, you know, this is about you allowing yourself to flow with your emotionality. So find some way in which you can flow your love that is sweet and innocent and joyful, and you'll have a wonderful transit. So happy new moon, Sagittarius. And Capricorn. Well, Capricorn, this new moon in Aries is hitting your 4th house. It's angular, so it might be a little bit tough, although it might be a matter of it being really great for you. You may get a new home, or you may have a new beginning domestically. Maybe you're going to have a new person that you play house with, or maybe you're going to get a new home. Maybe you're going to expand your home. Maybe there's something new family-wise coming in. Maybe you're going to be growing your family. Your family is going to grow. But the most important thing, Capricorn, under a 4th house transit, is for you to feel emotionally secure and unconditionally loved and all tucked in and yummy on the inside, which is not easy for Capricorn. So it's important for you during eclipse season. You know, there might be some stuff that comes up that is very, you know, upsetting or annoying or disrupting. But again, that might actually help you say, okay, well, this is clearly a problem. So I would say that over the next 6 months, your emotional security is going to be really important, Capricorn. And this theme was relevant for you last year too. So you're getting an opportunity to do it over. What do you need to have in your life to feel emotionally secure? What is going to make you feel at home within the self? So this is a great time over the next 6 months for greater emotional security and stability in your domestic life. Do you need to set a boundary with somebody? Do you need to release a boundary and not be such a hard ass, right? There's an increased connection that you'll most likely have with loved ones. Again, this is the energy of the divine mother. And how can you show up in that role for other people? And how can you have other people show up in that role for you? Allow yourself to be taken care of, for crying out loud. Capricorns are just so strong and tough, and I get it. But I would say, with this year's solar eclipse in your fourth and last year's, like the universe is making it really clear. Like you need to allow yourself to tap into that divine mother energy, right? Because the divine father energy, you really have that. You're pretty good at being disciplined and strong, but can you be cared for and can you care for other people? And it's about deeper self-trust. It's all about, you understanding yourself more and trusting yourself emotionally and feeling perfect on the internal landscape. And also, a byproduct of that is the more self-trust you have, the more other people will trust you. And then you'll get higher status because that's what status is. Many people trusting you, right? So let's see, Capricorn, what wisdom you get from the tarot for your new moon in Aries. Wisdom for Capricorn. Wisdom for Capricorn. Wisdom for Capricorn. Wisdom for Capricorn. Five of Wands. All right. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. So the Five of Wands is like an adjustment to the plan. So it's like you're expecting things to go a certain way and not monkey wrench. It happens, especially during eclipse season, especially during Mercury retrograde. So you need to just roll the punches. I would say with the Five of Wands, you're so tough, Capricorn, that you're probably used to this. You're probably every day is like a Five of Wands thing. I would say maybe it's a matter of even changing that belief that like always somebody here is just screw it up. But with Five of Wands, there might be an adjustment that you need to make to your plan. Roll with the punches. It is Mercury retrograde. It is eclipse season. You have to trust that this delay or this nuisance is actually for your highest good, right? It's a perfect universe. Your timing is impeccable. So if there's something that disrupts homeostasis or what you had in mind, you gotta roll with it. It's like if your plane gets canceled or delayed, well, that plane could have crashed, and that's a horse of a different color, right? You'd much rather your plane get delayed than it crash, right? So try to label everything as positive, roll with the punches, and I would say also with Five of Wands, if it's worth it and it's important for you, fight, compete, do what you need to do to compete for what it is that you want and fight for it. If you feel that you have a chance and that it requires a certain level of competitiveness, I would go for it. You're very good at competing when you want something. So if there is something that you want and it might be hard for you to get, well, fight for it. So happy new moon, Capricorn. So Aquarius, this is a pretty easy transit for you. Again, we have to find out, where that 19 of Aries is hitting your chart. You might have something cardinal around that time, in which case you will be affected. But generally for Aquarius, it's a third house transit. It's pretty easy. Third house transit for you, it's really the most important thing is how you think, your mindset. So, and that determines everything. Like if you have the belief in place, like, oh, it's fine. Everything always works out for me. So even if this is problematic, I can make it work, right? It also is about your mindset. Do you have your eyes on the prize? Are you focused on where you want to go? Are you focusing on what you want, not what you don't want? The third house is also about learning. Maybe you're going to be learning something new during this transit over the next 6 months. And there may be some socializing too. Some new socializing. That could be cool. In fact, you might be experiencing more stuff within your neighborhood. The third house has to do with neighborhood. The third house has to do with like everything, including the kitchen sink. It's your neighbors. It's your neighborhood. It's your social life. It's your siblings. It's short distance travels. It's like the things that you do on a regular basis. But it starts with your mind, right? So there's a new and improved way of thinking for you. There's new opportunities for you to learn. Maybe you'll take a class. And there's a refreshed social life. So you might have some new people around you that are really cool. I think that could be really fun for you, Aquarius. So let's see what wisdom you get from the tarot for your new moon in Aries. Wisdom for Aquarius. Wisdom for Aquarius. Woo! Whoa! Oh, a card fell. I won't tell you what it was. I'll keep it a secret. But if it comes up again, I'll tell you what it was. Wisdom for Aquarius, wisdom for Aquarius, wisdom for Aquarius, wisdom for Aquarius. Eight of Swords. So this is an Aquarius card in some respects. It's actually a Gemini card, which makes sense, right? Because the third house does link to Gemini, and so does Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is like, you can't paint yourself into a corner. The Eight of Swords is when something goes wrong, and then you just run with it, right? And you're like, well, now this can't happen, and that's going to screw this, and it's going to be like this. And you want to get in control of your mind. During eclipse season, you might be more emotional. Aquarians are not comfortable with their emotions typically at all. So you might be, dealing with like this crazy town moment in which your mind is going on a tailspin. The Eight of Swords is like really just over intellectualizing things, letting the mind interfere. I would say that with Mercury retrograde as well as eclipse season, let the mind be the slave, not the master. And what I mean by that is you have to control your thoughts and not go crazy town, right? You want to make sure that you're not obsessing or worrying about things because it's probably not going to happen anyway, right? I think that that's what happens with Aquarians. When they experience heightened emotions, they go to their head because in their head, they're safe. And they're able to control their emotions. But the problem with that is that the way you think determines the way that you feel. So lighten up, make peace of mind your only goal. That's your job. Just peace of mind. Focus on peace of mind. Make that the goal. Ride out anything difficult and then come up with a rational, logical plan. You're an Aquarius, so that should be very easy. So happy new moon. And then last but not least, Pisces, or should I say money bags. Pisces, you're having a second house transit, which is really, really nice. And, it's been a little bit tough for you. You've had Saturn in your sign, but also Venus, which is really nice actually for you. So it's been ups and downs, I'd say, highs and lows. So this new beginning for you is all about your money, how you can make more money, your values, what you really care about, and your self-worth. So this might be an opportunity for you to be like, I know my value more now than ever before. I know what I bring to the table, and I'm not afraid to eat alone. Whatever it might be. You're feeling your power. You're feeling your worthiness over the next 6 months. And really a big part of that is about understanding what you really care about. What really matters to you? What do you value in your life? Because that's what happiness is, value fulfillment. So there might be new values that you have. Over the next 6 months, you can experience more financial abundance and a greater sense of value in your life. Not just increased income, but also investment opportunities. Again, Pisces is so malleable and mutable with the changes that are happening on the financial landscape, especially with Jupiter and Uranus conjuncting in April 20th. We're already feeling the effects now, and they already are in a conjunction. You're going to be able to roll with the punches probably better than the rest of us because you're more malleable, you're more adaptable, you're more fluid. And that's what abundance is. Affluence comes from the French, affleur, to flow. Because you flow so well, you're able to manifest abundance, I think, better than any of the other signs, to be honest. I think the problem is that it's a matter of keeping up with your expansion and going with your flow, right? It's also about prioritizing your personal values and your goals, determining, what you really care about and how can you align your life with what you care about. Because as we said, happiness is value fulfillment. So maybe make a list of your values. This is what really matters to me now. And here's a plan. This is what I'm going to do to work on fulfilling these values on a regular basis. So let's see, Pisces, what wisdom you get from the tarot. Wisdom for Pisces, wisdom for Pisces, wisdom for Pisces. Queen of Wands. I love it. So Queen of Wands Queens, even if you're a guy, the queens are about the internal landscape, right? And wands are about confidence. So this is about you nurturing that spark, that inner confidence within you. It's not necessarily do you have to show it off. You can if you want, but this card is about you nurturing that inner confidence, really pumping yourself up, right? And even visualizing like love going into the different areas of your body and whatever it is that is going to make you feel perfect, right? So with Queen of Wands too, this might be a time in which you really have established your strength at this time. You've established strength in a particular area of your life, and it's a matter of knowing that and seeing yourself as somebody who is strong, who has established strength, and really allowing the internal world to feel aligned with what you have already manifested externally. Because sometimes it's a matter of maybe you've done certain things, maybe manifested things, you've done a great job, but the inner landscape doesn't know that. So this is a wonderful opportunity for you to nurture the inner landscape, the subconscious mind, your body as well, and to really nurture that confidence and allow yourself to see where it takes you. So happy new moon. That's a great card for you, Pisces. And there we have it, folks. We did it. We did Tarotscopes and Horoscopes for every single sign. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a wonderful remainder of eclipse season. Again, my name is Joshua the Psychic, psychicsun.com if you're looking for readings, personal coaching, classes, parties if you're in Los Angeles, etc. Thank you all so much for joining me. Yes, we did it, Sin. We did it. And yeah, thank you all so much for joining me in the chat and, of course, watching the replay. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like my video, and be sure to put something in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. So have a wonderful eclipse season, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow if you're catching this live for this week astrology at 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll talk all about next week and how you can make the most of it. Bye, everyone.